Hi guys, welcome to Code Bashers. Guys, in this video, I will be discussing the practice coding questions for TCS Ninja Topper exam. Guys, this is part 1 of this series. More parts will be uploaded in future. So make sure that you subscribe this channel and click on all notifications for future videos. Guys, if you have not joined my Telegram groups, the links are present in the description box. Make sure to join them. I post a lot of updates on different companies which are hiring as well as the questions we are getting asked in them. And guys, one more thing before moving ahead, I have a dedicated playlist on my channel in which I have made TCS digital practice coding questions. Here 10 parts are there. If you are preparing for Ninja Topper exam, then you must go through each of these videos plus the NQT Topper videos that I am making now. Please make sure to go through all these videos. It will be a great help for you in the exam and you will get a lot of practice on the questions. So guys, now let's start this video, and before starting the video, please hit the like button as well as the subscribe button for this channel, and I will give the link of this playlist in the I button. So guys, now let's start this video. Okay, so the question here is, numbers are everywhere around us. We deal with different types of numbers on a daily basis. There are real numbers, whole numbers, natural numbers, etc. Another kind of number is called strange numbers, which has the following properties. Okay, so first of all, a strange number is an integer number n which has factors that are prime number. So we all know that every number is made up of prime number. So prime numbers are starting from 2, 3, 5, 7, 11. 1 is not a prime, nor it is. We all know that 1 is not a prime. And prime numbers are from 2, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11. These are all the prime numbers. Now, the strange number is an integer number which has factors that are prime. Okay. The second condition is that the square root of the number n that will be inputted should be less than the greatest prime factor of n. Okay. So now there are two conditions. If a particular number matches these two conditions, then that number will be a strange number. Otherwise, it will be a not strange number as written here. So first condition is that the input number should have the prime factors as prime number, and second condition is that the square root of the input number should be less than the greatest prime factor of n. So let's just understand this question with the help of an example. So you can see that we have here, the first example is that we have 15 as an input. So 15 here. So let's just see on it. So 15 is made up of prime numbers. 3 into 5 will give us 15. So here 3 is also a prime number, 5 is also a prime number. So largest prime number is 5. So 5 here. Now what is the square root of 15? We know that square root of 15 will be anywhere around 3.9. Now you can see that the square root of the number n is less than the largest prime factor of n. So in this case what we have to print, we will print strange. Again, it is also given that output is strange. Again, in the question also it is given that the square root of the number n should be less than the greatest prime factor of n. So 3.9 is less than the greatest prime factor of 15, that is 5. So it is denoted as strange. Now let's just see the another input. So another input is 25. Now 25 is made up of prime numbers again. 5 into 5. 5 and 5 are both prime numbers. Again, it will give us 25. Now the largest prime number is 5. So largest prime number is 5, and the square root of 25 is 5 again. So now you can see that the square root of n is not less than the largest prime factor of n. So in this case we will print not strange. In this case what we will print not strange as written here. You can see that this is the square root of n, and this is the largest prime factor of n. The square root of n should be less than the largest prime factor of n, but in this case it is not. It is equivalent to. So in this case we will print not strange. So I hope now the question is clear to you. Now how we will approach this question? What we will do? Let's just now discuss the approach. Now let's just take an example of, you can say, 20. Let's just take an example of 20. This is our example, and we will dry run on it. What we'll do? First of all, we will find all the prime factors. We will find all the prime factors of 20. Okay, so once we have found all the prime factors, we will find the greatest prime factor of all. So once all prime factors are with us, we will find the greatest prime factor we will find. Now once we will have our greatest prime factor, we will compare the greatest prime factor with the square root of input, that is square root of n, that is in this case is 20. We will compare it with square root of n. So this is how we will do it. Now let's just start finding with the first, we will start finding with the prime factors. So first is 20. Let's just see, it is an example. Now we all know that prime numbers are starting from 2. 1 is not a prime number, so what we'll do, we will take a variable known as prime. We will take a variable known as prime, and we will do and we will start it by 2. Now what we'll do, we have to find, first of all we have to find all the prime numbers, then we have to find the maximum prime number out of it, that is the maximum prime factor out of it. So we will take another variable known as max p. Let's just initialize it with int min. Okay, or you can say, or just a second, you can say that let's just initialize it with 0. Let's just initialize it with 0 only. Okay, now what we'll do, we will iterate over our input number, that is n. N is a 20. Now what we'll do, we will check whether this 20 is, whether this n, whether, okay, just a second. What we'll do, if our n mod of prime is double equivalent to 0. Now whether our n mod of prime is double equivalent to 0, it means that this n, the n that we have inputted is the this prime number, the value that is contained in this prime variable is the prime factor of n. If our n mod prime is equivalent to 0, what we'll do, we will simply do n is equivalent to n divided by prime. We'll simply do n is equal to n divided by prime, and what we'll do in this if condition, we will change our max p. We will do max p is equivalent to max of our previous max p, comma our current prime, that is the value that is been contained in the prime variable. Now let me just dry run it. So once we had 20 with us, now prime numbers are starting from 2, so we know that 20 is divisible by 2. So after we will enter this if condition, and after this if condition, our 20 will be divided by 2 and it will remain 10. Now our 10 is remaining. Now this if condition is fulfilled. What we'll do, we know that this, we have to find the maximum prime. So the current prime is 2 and max prime earlier was 0. Now we will compare this 0 with 2 and our max p will change to 2 instead of 0. Now this has been cancelled. Now our max p contains 2. Now what we'll do, again we will try to divide it with the prime number. Now we will divide 10 with 2. Now if our n mod prime double equal to 0, so yes, n is 10, prime is 2, so it means that it is equivalent to 0. So again we will divide it by 2, it will remain 5, and now again we will check that what is the max value between our max p. Now what we'll do, we will check what is the maximum value between max p and prime. So again our max p is 2 and our current prime is also 2, so it will still remain 2 only. Now our n remains 5. Now again, now again we will come here, it is entire thing is happening in a while loop. Now we will do, our n is 5 and prime contains 2. So is our n mod prime double equal to 0? So 5 mod 2 is 0? No, it is not 0. Then this if condition will not run. Then comes the else condition. In which but we will be writing the code in our else condition. Now what we'll do, else, in the else we will do prime plus plus. In this else we will simply do prime plus plus. So this was our upper half is the if condition, this is our upper half is if condition, lower half is else condition. Now we will do prime plus plus. Now our 5 mod 2 was not equivalent to 0, so we have done prime plus plus. Now a new value of prime has become 3. Now is our n mod prime, is our 5 mod 3 is double equivalent to 0? No, it is not equivalent to 0. So again this else condition will run, and again we will do prime plus plus, it has become 4. Now 5 mod 4, is our 5 mod 4 double equivalent to 0? No, it is not equivalent to 0. Again our else condition will run and our value will become prime plus plus. Now n is 5, prime is 5, so is our 5 mod 5 double equivalent to 0? Yes, it is equivalent to 0. So now our n will be divided by prime, so n will now become 1, and we will now check. Now the current value of prime is 5, the max value of prime till now was 2. Now we'll check in this whether max p is equivalent to max of max p comma prime. So in this, here it will be 2, here it will be 5, and now our max p value will be changed to 5, that is our maximum prime value we have got. Now after this thing is over, you can see that our n has remained to 1. Our n has remained to 1. So this will be a breaking condition in the while loop. This will be our breaking condition in the while loop while our n is greater than 1. And in these if condition and the else condition, are running inside this while loop only. Now after this loop is over, our n value is 1. We know that our n value is 1. Now what we'll do? Now we have got our max prime value. Max prime value was 5 and our initial n was 15. Now what we'll do? We will find the square root of n. What is square root of n? It will be 3.9. Now we have got, after the value, we have got our max prime number and we know what is the square root of n. Now we will simply compare these two values. That is square root of n. If square root of n is less than max p, then what we'll do? We'll simply print strange. Else, if our square root of n is not less than max p, then what we'll do? Else condition will run and then we will print not strange. We will print. So this was the entire, you can see the concept of this question, approach of this question. Here we have written, if you are able to understand, here we have written the pseudocode. Now this was the entire approach of this question. Now we will be looking at the code of this question for better understanding. Okay, so guys, I have already written the code. Here you can see that we have taken int n as input. First of all, after taking int n as input, we have taken the square root, and see square root, the data type of square root here is float because the square root can be in float. So first of all, we will have to typecast n into float and then we have to take the square root and then we will get our perfect square root answer. Okay, so once we have done this, we have found the square root. Then we have, as I have told you earlier, that we will take two variables. First is int max p initialized with 0. It will store the maximum prime number that n contains. Next is int prime is equivalent to 2. Now this prime value, we all know the prime number starts from 2 and this we will use to find all the prime factors of n, and while that we are doing, we will keep the count of the maximum prime number. Okay, so now here we will be doing, we have done the entire algorithm that I have told you, that while our n is greater than 1, this is our breaking condition. While our n is greater than 1, if our n is divisible by prime, that is n mod prime is double equivalent to 0, it means that our n is divisible by this prime number, then we will do n is equal to n divided by prime, and then this prime value we will compare it with our max p value. This prime value will be compared with our max p value and our max p value will get updated. And else, if our prime number, if our n is not divisible by prime, then we will do prime plus plus. That is, we are done with this current number is not divisible by 2, we will do prime plus plus, we will see it with 3, then again we will do prime plus plus and we will see it with 4, 5, 6 and 7. So I hope this thing is clear to you. And after this loop ends, in this max p variable we will have our maximum prime number of n and we'll compare it with the square root number. That is, if our square root of n is less than max prime, then we'll print cout strange, else we'll print cout not strange. So let's just run it. First of all, let's just take 15 as input. So 15 will give us strange as given, as I told you earlier, it will give us strange. Let's just take 20, on which we had dry run the entire code. 20 will give us not strange. 20 will give us 20 will give us strange, because you can see that the square root of 20 is, I think, 4 point something, and 4 point something is less than the maximum prime, that is 5. So it will give us strange. Now we will do it with 25. So it will give us not strange, because maximum prime is 5 and square root of 25 is 5 also. So it is not less than square root, so it will give us not strange. So this code is running perfectly fine. So I hope this question was clear to you. If you found this video informative, please hit the like button as well as the subscribe button for this channel. And guys, make sure that if you are preparing for TCS NQT Ninja Topper exam, then you must go through every part of every video that has been covered in this particular playlist. The link of the playlist will be given in the description box, and this video that you have seen will also be present in this particular playlist only. So guys, this was it for this video. I hope you liked the video. Thank you for watching it.